Hi, my name is Amanda Chase and I'm the Internship Coordinator in the UVM Career Center. I've had a lot of students email me recently having questions about how to look for internships in the United States while they're abroad, and so I thought I'd put together a quick video to help people who are currently outside of the country and who are looking for summer internship opportunities. So today I'm going to go over a few tips and tricks about where to look, things you should be keeping in mind, and where your resources are. So I'm going to jump right into the Career Center's webpage here so I can show you some of the things that we have. One of the first things to do is probably going to be to explore Catamount Job Link. So once you go to the UVM Career Center's webpage, which is uvm.edu/career, you don't need that tilde there, you can go into Catamount Job Link here, which is the paw print. And once that opens up, you're going to log in as a current student. And this is just your net ID. Now, Catamount Job Link is our university's job and internship database, and at any given time there are usually about 1,000 jobs and internships in this system. So one of the first things you can do is take a look at the jobs and internships that are posted here. So if you go under job postings, you're going to want to click on jobs posted with UVM. This is a great place to look for internships, particularly in the Burlington area. There are a lot of different things within Catamount Job Link, so the way I usually like to narrow this down is to click on Advanced Search. And to start off with, if you're just looking for internships around UVM, I would suggest putting in something like internships within 15 miles of our zip code and narrowing things down to internships. I usually like to start pretty broad, so you can narrow things down by industry, but that can be categorized in a lot of different ways. So I usually just like to start off with no parameters, and then you can hit search. So let's see what comes up here. So right now the internships are posted in order of when, or they're sorted in order of when they were posted. So you're going to see a lot of different things here. You're going to see the companies here in the center and then the name of the internship on the left. Now if any internship comes up that you want to tag for later, if you want to bookmark it, you can click that star button, and you can see I've already done that with one of the internships that came up here, and that allows you to hold those on the home page of Catamount Job Link so that you can check in on them later on. You're going to see that they have a lot of different application deadlines. You can also sort things by the name of the employer, application deadline, or the name of the job. And as you sort down here, you're going to see a lot of different things. Sometimes you'll see groups of them because they were all posted at the same time, like this one with the Vermont Lake Monsters. But you're going to find them in many different industries and categories. So we have a bunch here for 7th generation. We got one for Burton in Java Web development, marketing, IT policy. So I'm just going to jump into one of these so we can get a better idea of what a post looks like. So once you click on the name of the posting here, it'll get you a little bit more information. So it'll show you things here like the salary, it'll show you when the start date will be, and a little bit of background on the company or organization. And then they'll go into some detail about what you will be expected to do as an intern at this company and what you need to do in order to apply. So for this particular posting I picked here, they're asking you to send a resume and a cover letter directly to this person's name right here. Some postings will also ask you to apply right through Catamount Job Link. And when that is the case, you'll see a button that will pop up here which says apply, and you can actually upload your documents right through the system and apply here in Catamount Job Link. So you'll notice it's telling me right now that I don't have any resumes available to submit. So one thing you can also do, which will be helpful while you're abroad, is you can upload your resume and cover letter here under the Documents tab. And a counselor here at the Career Center will actually view your resume and your cover letter and will email you feedback. So that's a really good way to get a second set of eyes on your materials. You can do that by clicking Add New, and then you can choose a document to upload. So you can upload a Microsoft Word document or a PDF here. You can also select whether this is a resume or a cover letter. One good thing to know is that it can take up to 48 hours. It can take essentially 2 business days for your documents to be reviewed. just because it takes us a moment to turn them around here and get you that feedback. So if the deadline is March 1st, don't wait until midnight on February 28th to submit it, because it will take a little while to get that approved in the system. We ask that students submit documents of a certain caliber just in order to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. So going back to the job postings here, we can take another look at some of the positions that are out there. So one of your first steps while you're looking for positions abroad is going to be to make a list of the internships that appeal to you and what they require and what their due dates are. You can do that in any way you see fit. Some people use a spreadsheet or an old-fashioned handwritten list, but it's good to keep track of the internships that you're applying to. This is a lot like applying to college again, in that you might have to apply to 6 or 8 or even 10 internships before you find one that's a good fit. And some of these internships will be more competitive than others. So similarly to applying to college, some of them will be kind of reach internships and some will be safer fits for you. And as you move through college, those more competitive internships might be better options between your junior and senior year once you have some more experience under your belt at other internships. Another good thing to know on Catamount Job Link is this employer directory here. So we have about 1,000 jobs and internships posted at any given moment, but we also have about 6,000 employers who have registered on Catamount Job Link here. So you can see a lot of different employers, and they all have contact information listed here. So this is a great thing to kind of mine for networking contacts. So if you want to see a little bit more information about, let's say, people in Vermont who are in advertising and marketing, we could do a quick search here and see who comes up. So as an example, we have 42 different companies that have come up. Now let's say you want to know a little bit more about 2K Deep Productions. You can click here and they actually give you the contact information for this person who works there. So if you had a question about this company, you could reach out to this person. It'll also show you if this particular company has any available positions right now. This one doesn't happen to, but you can also see job leads, which are positions that they've posted in the past. So this can be another good way to mine for information. So we can see that they have hired interns previously, so it might be worth reaching out to this person and saying, "Hi, Mr. Sackheim, I'm really interested in 2K Deep Productions and I see you've hired interns in the past. Could I talk to you about the possibility of interning with you this coming summer?" So the worst thing that someone can say is no. Another really good way to tap into the UVM contact and UVM network is to look at LinkedIn. And I'll show you here from my perspective. UVM is this really interesting thing here called Find Alumni, where you can look at where all of the UVM alumni on LinkedIn have ended up. So there are about 51,000 people on here who have gone to UVM. And we can narrow them down by where they live and where they work and what they do. So let's say you're looking for marketing positions in the Philadelphia area. So I could narrow down here. I could click on people who live in the greater Philadelphia area who are in marketing, and I can see the companies where they most frequently work. So the other thing is that once I scroll down here, I can see a list of all of those UVM alumni who are currently in that field and live in that area. And down below here, you can see the years that they graduated. So this does a lot of different things for you. You can learn a little bit more about how people got to their particular positions. So we can see this person here and her background. And then if you wanted to learn more about her company or ask about potential internship opportunities, you could also hit connect. And this is where you could put in a little note here saying, "Hi Melissa, I am really interested in marketing, particularly in the Philadelphia area. I'm wondering if you had a few minutes to talk about your career path and if you have any recommendations for internships in the area." Again, the worst thing that she could say is no. Another good resource for finding internships, and this sounds all too easy, but is internships.com. And this is a pretty comprehensive site where you can search for different kinds of positions in many different areas. So again, let's try something new. Let's look for positions in Washington, D.C. And how about internships having to do with policy? So there are going to be a lot of different ones here. We can narrow this down by location, so it's listing a lot of suburbs of DC. And one thing that's good to know on internships.com is it sometimes lists local internships, and it doesn't do any right here, but it also tends to list virtual internships, which are internships where you would Skype in or do work over Google Hangouts and things like that. I would recommend narrowing down your initial search to local opportunities. I think it's really good to get that hands-on experience. You can also narrow these down to paid versus unpaid. You can see that there are typically fewer paid positions and they tend to be more competitive, but you can look at those as well there. And it's nice to have that option to narrow it down. It does matter, it does depend on the industry as well, which ones will be paid and unpaid. And on internships.com, you can click on a position and it will give you a little bit more information about the position, about the company, and usually they'll tell you how to go about applying. So they ask you to create an account through internships.com, and that's how you can upload your resume or your cover letter. Going back to resumes and cover letters, there are a lot of good resources on the UVM website. So I'm going to go back to our website here, which again is uvm.edu/career. And if you go to prepare for a job search, there's information here about building a resume, writing a cover letter, and also some sample resumes. You can see those here on the side, and some things to think about as you're creating your resume and your cover letter. So you can pull all those up. We also have a separate side of the site here for internships. So you can go into the student section and look at a lot of different resources here. There are good things to think about for what you might get out of an internship, for the definition of an internship and the qualities of a positive and strong internship. So you can find more information here, like what I'm talking about, step-by-step finding an internship. This is kind of making that list that I talked about. And there's a really big list of search engines and resources here. So I already talked about Catamount Job Link, I mentioned internships.com, but there are a lot of different ones, and many search engines are also particular to certain industries and certain areas of study. So I would really recommend checking that out. There's also more information about getting credit for an internship. There are a lot of there's a list here of different classes where you can get internship credit, and I'm happy to talk with anyone who's interested in that. And there's information here about covering the costs of your internship. There are a few different scholarships that are available on campus, and the deadline is coming up in about a month. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend checking out these scholarships. I help run the Anna Whitcomb Internship Scholarship. There's one for honors college students here, environmental science students. There's also the Public Impact Award for internships with research components, and the Samuel Fish Memorial Fund for students in the service learning internship class. So you can always contact me. My email address is amanda.chase@uvm.edu, and I'd be happy to give you more information. You can also set up an appointment through the Career Center, even if you are abroad. We're happy to set up Skype appointments or appointments over Google Hangout, and that's another way to get resources and get some good information. So I hope you're having a great trip abroad. It's got to be warmer than it is here right now in Burlington. We've got a few feet of snow on the ground. And stay safe, and please contact us if you have any questions. Thanks.